Hello, everyone. Today we will check all the trends related with artificial intelligence in governments, and it is here with me, Roberto Martinez. Hello, Roberto. Welcome to this introduction day.
It's always a pleasure, my dear friend Guillermo, and I'm delighted to be again talking about the upcoming Global Digital Week, which is going to be definitely something not to be missed by our international audience.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, all this new era with new technologies is amazing because we can improve the citizen life. So, how do you see the some trends and some challenge in this matter?
Well, talking about governments, and I'm talking about on the one hand about the functioning of governments as organizations, and from that standpoint, it's amazing to see how quickly AI, artificial intelligence, has become a powerful enabler for governments who want to become more effective, who want to improve their performance, and who want to push to higher levels the rate of effectiveness of different programs, especially in areas which are central to well-being and
Yeah,
sustainability. So that's why we talk about how governments can become more able to do what they have to do anyway. And so
yeah.
that's one side of the story. And then the other side is governments are now very busy when discussing at the international and global level how to maximize the benefits that are just sketched, but also how to minimize important risks that are inherent to the design of artificial intelligence. And that's why we have seen over the last, I would say, a year and a half, a
Yeah.
very intense debate on how to make the design of AI ethical and how crucial ethics are to the design of AI so that it doesn't amplify pre-existing social, cultural, racial, and gender biases. So
Yeah.
that's a very huge challenge indeed, and so that's why some international organizations such as UNESCO have taken the leadership to show and to develop a coherent framework that governments can use in order to supervise and to monitor the way in which artificial intelligence technologies and solutions are being designed so as to avoid these unintended, and I underline the unintended biases. And the current discussion is not only about how to apply the ethical the framework that is being developed by UNESCO, but also how to find a very difficult answer to one crucial question, which is it necessary or is there a case for the creation of regulation and also regulatory agencies in order to do surveillance of the implementation of this ethical framework? And that's an ongoing debate. So there's no final conclusion to that, but definitely what's now become evident is that there's a real need everywhere for a new capacities for governments to have the right talent profiles so as
Mhm.
to better decide if it's or to what extent it is necessary to regulate artificial intelligence. And so
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
where we stand. And then I would say to governments worldwide, well, good luck with that, because it's a
Yeah,
pretty daunting task that they have at hand.
yeah, a lot of challenge and as well a lot of opportunities. I was remember right now how Sofia in Bulgaria they create a complete digital twin about that city that they can record everything. They can help citizens to reduce delinquents and traffic, everything. So there are a lot of solutions, but as well there are a lot of risk.
Yeah, definitely. So that's just one. What you mentioned, Guillermo, is just one aspect of what we see as the visible tip of the iceberg of what's
Yeah,
yet to come. And so I'm very impressed by the panel, the experts, the team of experts that is now about to embark on that discussion from different perspectives and experiences during the first day of the Global Digital Week, that's focused on governments and AI performance. And so I think it's a very well balanced panel, because on the one hand you have the perspective of two national government experiences in terms of
yeah,
policy making, and that is the experience of two countries which are different, but they reveal uh, to what extent emerging countries such as Mexico are dealing with the opportunities and the way in which AI can boost competitiveness at the national level. And that's the
yeah,
case of Mr. Luis Godoy, who represents the Ministry of the Economy of Mexico. And so he's an able expert government official, and that's really good. And then on the other hand, we have the Australian experience
yeah,
delivered by Ms. Rita Arrigo, who's part of the National AI Center of Australia. And so she looks into strategic relations, and so she has a privileged perspective in terms of what Australia is now doing. And then we have the perspective of the regional perspective, and then we have an expert, Olga Gualteros, who is a consultant to private and public organizations throughout Latin America. And so she has this regional perspective so as to show the trends of government and the way that they can harness, or the way that in which they are taking advantage of AI in this region. And then we have another key contribution from Robert Bjarnason, who is from Iceland, and who has he's the president, the chairman of the Citizens Foundation. And so that's a never present, and there's no way to underestimate how AI can do how AI can be a positive and powerful lever to enhance citizen participation, but also about the challenges that AI poses, so that no citizen is left behind in this never-ending task of making democracies more robust and more effective
yeah,
to produce optimal societal outcomes. And then finally, there's the perspective of Victor Pineda, who's a prominent social entrepreneur. He's the head of his own foundation. He's closely linked. He's a close collaborator to the World Economic Forum, and his unique and very valuable perspective is that of how AI can link, or how AI can enable more inclusion,
yeah,
and then how AI can foster diversity, so that diversity, as we know, is always a source of effectiveness, competitiveness,
yeah,
robustness of societies, just as much as companies and other organizations who benefit from diversity, and so
yeah,
and from inclusion. And so I think, yeah, that there's a really well balanced
yeah.
team of leaders and specialists for this day one sessions on government.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And actually, we face a lot of challenge, and I think that in this case they can bring a little of light in this matter. So I want to share, Roberto, a little bit about think tank that we did in the last weeks ago, because we try to promote, create new solutions, try to pilot several new initiatives. How do you feel that experience in our institute?
Well, I think that's a great example of how ideas and how innovation can translate into new solutions, be that new business models or be it new policy frameworks. But the key thing about the innovation is to put to translate innovation
Yeah,
into on the field pilots. And so, in as much as the foundation can contribute effectively to the implementation and the launching of pilots in very well targeted areas, so as to test new and robust solutions. I think that's a great contribution. So I'm really excited as to how the foundation can become more impactful, how its scope of work can increase. I'm sure that it will become a very dynamic platform for new pilots in different key areas of innovation, so that you can see social entrepreneurs come into
yeah,
the activity of the foundation, so that you can also admit big corporate, international corporate players wanting to test something that's out of the box from the perspective of their corporate business models. And so I think that this blend of the startup mentality and social entrepreneurship, and then the other perspective of the corporate mandate to innovate, they can always coexist because of the openness and the convenience of the foundation, and how it's been designed.
yeah. Actually, it was very exciting, and we inviting you to join to these pilots, these think tanks that we organize. And I was thinking, Roberto, that maybe we can do another think tank specialized for one industry, because right now we are doing this more for the Spanish markets. But what about if we do something related with the global value change in automotive, or maybe sustainability? Invite several companies and several governments to join us.
Absolutely. So definitely, because there's always, no, there, I mean, honestly, nobody has the final answer to many of the key things that are underpinning the digital revolution. And so I think that because of that, talent and ideas and new models need to be harnessed at a global level.
Yeah,
So there's no borders, national borders, even cultural borders are no longer the limit to what can happen in the context of finding new clues, and of course new answers and new models, new frameworks to make the most of new technologies, and to make sure that the results that these technologies can produce are as quickly as possible in the lives of everyone around the globe.
yeah. Well, thank you very much, and I hope that you enjoy all the content of this day. Thank you, Roberto. It was a pleasure having you here.
No, it's always my pleasure, my friend. And so let's roll up our sleeves and do our job, so that we have, or we contribute. I'm very glad about it, to a very successful and with a lot of punch global
Yeah.
digital week that's coming up.
Okay. Thank you.